Another busy week in football. Welcome back to CornerSports. I'm Albert Aznavour, and this week we'll be talking about another derby-packed week of football, whether that's in Netherlands, whether that's in England, Spain, Italy, Russia. Everything will be covered, and let's get right into it. First game we're going to talk about is happening on Saturday. West Ham is taking on Chelsea, and this is a saucy one, I must admit. West Ham is in the shittiest form a team could possibly be. Last time this team picked up a win in the Premier League was September 30th against Swansea. So it's been a little over 2 months since the last time they've picked up a win. And against Chelsea, they don't perform much better. In the last 22 meetings against Chelsea, West Ham have only picked up 2 wins. But West Ham does tend to play better at home. In the last 6 visits Chelsea has had at West Ham, they've won 3 and lost 3. This is West Ham's 3rd worst start to the league campaign ever. The previous 2 were 9 points out of 15 games in 73-74 season and 76-77 season. Fun fact, this will be the 41st consecutive start for David Moyes in the relegation zone, beating any other previous manager before him. 41 consecutive games in the relegation zone for David Moyes. Can you imagine that? You know this front 2 of Hazard and Morata will look to run all over this crappy West Ham defense, and that's exactly what I expect them to do. West Ham will not have enough. I know they just played Man City, and they played fairly well, especially considering how well Man City has been playing, but Chelsea's just too good. This is a London derby. I think Chelsea wins this one 2-1. Let's talk about Juventus taking on Inter, because this is probably by far going to be one of the most interesting games happening this weekend. Juventus, who have just set a Serie A record for 44 consecutive games in which they've scored goals, and they will be looking to continue with that trend going on to their 45th game against Inter. Spalletti, who took over this Inter team, has completely changed its team dynamic. Last year, this time, Inter had 18 less points than they do now at this stage. That is 6 games lost. That is essentially what that means. That is an amazing turnaround for this team. However, when we talk about Spalletti, his managerial record against Juventus is not a good one. Out of the 21 games he has played against Juve, he has only drawn 3 and lost 17 and only won 1 game. And I don't expect that to change this weekend. Gonzalo Higuain and Mauro Icardi have been scoring for fun, but so has Dybala and Perisic. Both of these teams have some key players who can make plays at any minute for them, and I'm excited for this game. But considering that Inter Milan is on top of the league with 39 points and Juventus is right there with 37, I think this game will be a draw, 1-1. And who benefits most from this game? Of course, Napoli and Roma. And let's talk about the next game, and that's Real Madrid taking on Sevilla at the Santiago Bernabeu. See the flag? Yeah, you see the flag. Real Madrid, who are probably out of their sort of slump. Cristiano Ronaldo just picked up his 5th Ballon d'Or. 2! However, the last time Sevilla beat Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu was in 2008, so they've got a steep hill to climb. This is one of the worst starts to the La Liga campaign for Real Madrid since 08-09, and that year they came runner-up to Barcelona, and can history repeat itself? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Zinedine Zidane does have a fairly good record against Sevilla, 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, and considering that they haven't won at the Santiago Bernabeu in a very long time, I'm going to say that Real Madrid wins this game 3-1, especially after Cristiano Ronaldo picks up his 5th Ballon d'Or. I think he'll be looking to get on the score sheet again, and this team looks to get on a roll again. Not to mention, Sevilla did have a poor game against Maribor midweek in the Champions League, and Real Madrid had that 3-2 win against Borussia Dortmund, which was a great game, and an amazing goal by Cristiano Ronaldo. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But a 3-1 win for Real Madrid. Let's move on. Let's quickly move into the Sunday games, because this Sunday is action-packed from morning to night. You can wake up in the morning and watch the first half of Spartak Moscow versus CSKA Moscow, switch to the Merseyside derby, then after that watch the Manchester derby, and then after that you can watch the Villarreal Barcelona game, and if you feel like you're hungry for more football, you can watch the Mexican playoffs afterwards. Let's kick it straight to the Merseyside derby, and the game I'm looking most forward to this week, because this one is going to be a good one. Sam Allardyce just took over this Everton team, and they have 2 wins on the bounce and looking like they're way out of that relegation zone. They've put those woes behind them, and they're moving into a new era with Sam Allardyce. There are talks of Aubameyang coming in on a £60 million bid, an amazing striker that would add a lot of goals to this side. We'll see what happens with that, but this Liverpool team has looked better than it has this entire season, and I'm excited to see what they can do in this game. Are we going to see that front four of Mane, Salah, Firmino, and Coutinho take just complete control of the game, and maybe Lallana and Henderson will play as well? And I'm expecting Matip to come back, so this team is gonna be fired up for this derby, especially when it's played at Anfield. Moreno will probably be out for it, so I'll be looking to see what Robertson can do in his first Merseyside derby. A lot of nerves from this kid, and I'm sure Sam Allardyce will be looking to exploit that left side of the field, but still, this team doesn't have any pace to get in behind this Liverpool defense. And considering that Liverpool are unbeaten in the last 14 Merseyside derbies, which they're looking to tie the 15-game record they hold over Everton, if they win this game or draw this game, they'll tie the record, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. The last time Everton won a game at Anfield was in 1999. I was 4 years old then. Since then, they've drawn 8 and lost 9. Be on the lookout for a red card, because this game is infamous for their red cards, but I expect a solid 3-1 win for Liverpool in this game. Sadio Mane, since joining Liverpool, has been fairly hot in the Merseyside derby, scoring in both of the games he has played, and I'm looking for him to score in this game again. And we all know how amazing Salah's playing, top Premier League scorer right now. Coutinho's pulling the strings. Firmino is playing that perfect number 9 role. This team is doing real well, and I really want to see Lallana play and see how he fits in with this team. I know Hendo's going to get that number 6 role, and this is going to be a tight, great game, but I think Liverpool will control it from beginning to end. Let's talk about the Manchester derby, baby. Manchester United takes on Manchester City at the Stamford Bridge for a game that promises to be amazing. Sad thing is, Pogba will be missing for this game, which is so unfortunate because this Manchester United team is night and day with Pogba on and off the field. As you know, Manchester City are on a 13-game consecutive winning streak in the league. They just lost midweek to Shakhtar, but let's put that aside. They weren't playing their full side. They were kind of playing a B side with Yaya Toure in there and Gundogan. And so I expect them to play their full team. They've been rested for this derby. In their Champions League game midweek against CSKA Moscow, which was a tough game for them, they went down 1-0 and had to come back and fight for a win. This Jose Mourinho team is on its longest unbeaten streak of 24 games at home. However, last time they lost at home was September 2016. Guess to who? Manchester City. Pep Guardiola. So, can Pep Guardiola unlock this amazing defensive side yet again? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Since Sir Alex Ferguson left, this team has lost 7 of their derbies, winning only 2 and drawing the other 3, and that's an abysmal record, and I think they'll be looking to right the wrongs in this one, and I think they'll be extra motivated to snap that 13-game winning streak that City's currently riding. But will they be able to do that without Pogba in the middle commanding things? I don't know. I think what Jose Mourinho is going to do is try to surprise us and start Lukaku with Ibrahimovic in this game. Ibrahimovic brings that tough mentality to carry the team and keep them organized, and I'm interested to see how Lukaku and Ibrahimovic can play together, but Herrera and Matic in the middle doesn't work nearly as well as Pogba and Matic. I also want to see if Mkhitaryan gets his plays back in the squad, or is he going to play Lingard or Mata or Martial? What's going to happen? A lot of decisions to be made for both of these managers, and I'm expecting a good game. I expect a 2-2 draw out of this one. Look, the real question is Manchester City going to go invincible? That's really the question here, because I think they will win the league. My initial prediction was I think United were going to take it, but I mean, looking at this start, I just don't see how City is going to start dropping points. United is great, don't get me wrong, and I don't think they'll drop many points from here on onwards, but for them to win the league, City's got to start dropping points. And let me know below, do you think City's going to start dropping points? Because I don't. And that's the unfortunate part about this. I want this league to be a little more competitive, but with this 8-point advantage, I just don't see it happening. Let's briefly mention the Spartak Moscow versus CSKA Moscow game. Both of these teams are sitting in 3rd and 4th place respectively. Spartak is a point behind CSKA right now, and both of these teams did lose midweek in their Champions League games. CSKA had that tough game against Manchester United. Spartak played and lost in a 7-0 trashing against Liverpool. And really what I'm curious about is how will this team respond? Usually when you lose 7-0, you have a complete breakdown of your mentality, or you respond well. Probably, in my opinion, the best game to have after a game like this is a derby, which is a Moscow derby, a big derby. A lot of people will be watching this game. Will they crumble under pressure like they did against Liverpool? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. CSK, both of these teams are chasing their inner city rival Lokomotiv Moscow, who is on top of the league at 46 points, and right behind them is Zenit. And both of these teams will be looking to get into that Champions League spot. Only 2 teams go to the Champions League. The other 2 go into Europa League, and so this will be a good game. I'm expecting CSK to win it away from home 2-1 because of that awful 7-0 performance they had against Liverpool. Go ahead and stamp it. I'm excited to see what Quincy Promes can do in this game, but I don't think he can do much. And Vitinho on the other side is also playing amazing. This game will be a good one. If you have time, at least pop in for the first half. Let's talk about the Ajax and PSV game briefly. That'll be going on this week as well. PSV, who are currently 10 points ahead of Ajax and look like they've ran away with the league already. Last time this PSV team lost the game was 3 months back on September 10th, and I'm sure they're looking to not lose any game anytime soon. They're currently on an 8-game winning streak. In that time, they've scored 22 goals and only conceded 8. Whereas this Ajax team has been up and down the entire season, nowhere near where they should be. This PSV team looks too good and looks like they've ran away with the league a long time ago. I'm expecting another PSV win, and this one 2-1 away from home at Ajax's stadium. This is going to be a great game. I will be split screening watching it whilst I'm watching all the other games, because if PSV is playing Ajax at any time, you best be sure I'll be watching that game, and you should too. That is all of the games I'll be talking about, but by God, are there many more that are happening this weekend. You've got the Liga MX playoffs. Marseille is taking on Saint-Etienne. Borussia Mönchengladbach is taking on Schalke. You got the MLS Cup Finals, which I have to make a separate video for. Napoli is taking on Fiorentina. PSG is taking on Lille, and many more games. Those are the games I'll be paying attention to this weekend. What games are you paying attention to? Thanks again for coming back to Corner Sports. Hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'd love to start a conversation with you below. Let me know what you think about the games happening this weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.